Hello, Pokemon fans, and welcome to the Houston Regional.
That's right, I played at my first regional tournament. This video is a log of my games, what happened, and how I did. Sit back, relax, and watch how I do at my first regional. First of all, I should tell you what deck I was playing. For this tournament, I was playing Dragapult EX. I foreshadowed this in my Mamoswine video. I've been playing a bit of Dragapult myself, and wait, why is there a Pikachu running at me? Wait. Well, it looks like my illusion wore off, because I was actually playing Zoroark EX, of course with the upgrade of Zekrom. With that out the way, let's start the tournament at day 1. Heading out for Houston Regionals. Let's see how well I do. We entered the venue and got our wristbands. When we got into the hall, we had about 2 hours before my round started. I spent the time exploring, playing the carnival games they had, and picking up my welcome kit. Guys, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I just saw Wolf Glick, the VGC guy. Anyways, bye. Following this clip, I actually went onto my RK9 and went to the VGC section and searched up, and Wolf Glick was actually at Houston Regionals. So I'm pretty sure I just saw Wolf Glick. With that out the way, I had to start my round 1. Okay, so we just finished round 1. I lost both games. It was a mirror match against another Zoroark. I couldn't get anything set up. I had Lily's turn 1 on both games, but I had nothing in my hand, and he got rolling, and I didn't get anything. For further information, in my first game, I got 0 Zoroarks out. And in my second game, I only had 1 Zoroark out. He had a lot of Zekrom power, and I just didn't have anything in my hand. I think I Lily's into a boss or 2 bosses. It was kind of crazy. It was time to move on to round 2. Okay, so round 2, lost. I was playing against Venusaur, a very bad matchup. Game 1, I actually was able to win, but the next 2 games I lost, I didn't really have anything in my hand. I won't lie, it was kind of crazy that I was able to win the first game. Because if you don't know, this is a very bad matchup for Zoroark. You can't really attack with Darmanitan for the knockout since they barely discard energy. They always have it in play. And you can knock out their Ogerpons, but you can't really knock out their Venusaur. So if they stick it in the active and keep healing it with Turos and Wallies, you can't really do anything. First game, I was actually able to start knocking out his Teomask Ogerpons, which is how I won. But that did not happen the next couple of games. It was time for round 3. Okay, so round 3, I won. It was against Gardevoir, very good matchup. I was able to get early pressure going, and then the second one, I had really early pressure, and he conceded, so. There wasn't really too much interesting going on here. I was just able to keep knocking out his Gardevoirs. But second game, I believe, he did knock out my Zekrom using Mew. He used Mew to copy my Rampaging Thunder for the knockout, but I did have knockout the next turn with like Night Stretcher, I think. So yeah, we were 1-2 at this point. Time for round 4. So, finish round 4. I lost against Dragapult Dusknoir. I think I'm eliminated from day 2 entry, but we're gonna keep playing. It was kind of close, but at the same time, it just wasn't close. But that's how all games against Pult is, right? I can confirm with this loss, I was out of day 2 contention. But I was going to keep playing just to see how I did in the tournament. Now, against Dragapult, I felt like I had a chance going into it. Really didn't. I just couldn't get too much going. And the really annoying part is that they can use Dusknoir on my Pecharunt and then just knock out the Pecharunt even if it's not in the active. And not to mention that Pecharunt can be knocked out just without any damage on it from Dragapult. And the thing is that we need Pecharunt to knock out their Dragapult with the combo of Binding Mochi and Black Belts. Which is why I might be adding Gravity Mountain in the future. But yeah. It was time for round 5. So, round 4, No, round 5. 5. Round 5 just concluded. I won against Gardevoir again. I won the first game just with a lot of pressure, and then second game he got Diancie set up, and I couldn't stop him. I got Iono'd, couldn't do anything. Third game, I won. I had a lot of pressure, and then what was the end game? He used Mind Bend on my Zoroark, but I already used Rampaging Thunder. But I had a End's Power Point up, Energy, and then retreat into whatever attack because I had one prize card left. Extra note, he got a Diancie setup going. He had a Bravery Charm on it, which means with the the Binding Mochi Black Belt combo, I still couldn't take it out. So he left some damage on it without having Munkidori. And I was able to use my own Munkidori to add some damage, and Black Belt with Rampaging Thunder to do 290. Had 260 with its ability, had 290. Honestly, him having the Diancie setup in the second game was kind of scary, because really you can't do much, and they can just keep cycling the whatever its attack is to just keep attacking, and if they have the double monkey, it's straight onto your Zoroark. So that was kind of scary. But yeah, the third game, he used Mind Bend when I had used Rampaging Thunder, so I was never going to be able to attack with the guy in the active anyway without resetting him. But yeah, it was another Gardevoir win. It was time for round 6. Okay, round 6 just concluded. I won again against another Gardevoir. Of course, it's just a good matchup. I won the second game because he didn't have a great start. He had one Ralts and I had Boss with Shred and Attack. So yeah, first game I also used Binding Mochi Scratch to knock out his Munkidori. He was impressed. I don't fully remember if it was this set or another round, but in one of the rounds at this tournament, I was able to use Binding Mochi Scratch 3 times to knock out his Munkidori and like 2 Ralts with Boss, and he just had to scoop it up. In between rounds, I had some time to watch some of the streamed matches, or really only one. It was Grimmsnarl versus Megabox. Not a very great matchup for the Grimmsnarl, but yeah, it was cool. It was time for round 7. Okay, so round 4 just concluded. I won. It was another Gardevoir. We started later than the juniors. I'll show a picture. Also, on round 7, I was able to use Binding Mochi Scratch to take out like 30 Ralts and then scooped. For the match itself, there's not much notes. I just drew a lot of what I needed. But for this timer, there was a guy asking about round 1, I think, why the juniors and seniors had different timers. But I think round 6, there was still a senior match going on, so they decided to start the juniors with their round while seniors had to wait. So that's why juniors and seniors have different timers. It was time for the final round of the day, and my final round at Houston Regionals, round 8. Okay, so we finished round 8. I lost. It was Crustle. I was playing against a full Crustle thing, and I wasn't able to attack. It was really hard to attack. I've won it on CCG Live before, but couldn't do it this time twice. He used Pokevital late Jumbo Ice Cream, couldn't do anything. 4-4. I also could only try to stop him from taking knockouts. It was really hard. We'll see if I can get prizing like top 128 or something like that. Probably won't, but we'll see. I'll admit, I did not know Crustle was actually being played. I thought it was just a funny deck, but I think after this I looked through Limitless and it has a lot of placements. Match notes, I was able to use Shred for like 110 damage with Binding Mochi, or even attack with the Zekrom with Shred, and try to attack with Darmanitan, but he kept using Pokevital Egg, Jumbo Ice Cream, kept healing it off, and I couldn't really do anything. Even with Munkidori, he just healed it, so yeah, we ended up with 4-4, 50-50 win and loss percentage. I ended up not getting any prizing, but I did place pretty well considering it was my first regional. But there was still a whole day 2 ahead of us, so let's see how I do playing side events. Okay, so We played a 4-pod on-demand event. There were 3 other players, and it was round robin, so I played against each of them one time. I tried out Mega Venusaur for this, and game 1 I played against another Mega Venusaur. I won because I had more early game pressure. I started the prize race. Round 2 played against the Dragapult. Couldn't really get stuff going, and I'm playing the Delibird from Mega Evolution that lets you search your deck for a card as an attack, and then he kept playing Iono, so that locked me out of finding my Doms to get Mega Venusaur set up. Then I play against Joltik Box. He couldn't do much, but something that I learned is that they can now knock out Mega Venusaur in one hit with Pikachu and Light Ball and Gravity Mountain. They can take out a Mega Venusaur. So that's kind of scary, but I won that one. 2-1, we got 60 prize tickets. We'll see. Okay, we started the TCG tournament thing. I forgot to report, on game 1, I played against a Charizard. I had a lot of early pressure, he couldn't stop me. He had to use a Dusknoir and Chi-Yu to knock out my Venusaur. Then second round, I played against Poltzard Terra package, like amalgamation of 2 amalgamations. Pretty cool. I lost against that because I had all my Pokemon in my hand, but I didn't get Force Vitality until way later. It was kind of close, but you kind of had a version of Checkmate, and I made some wrong plays, I guess. Okay. It's funny, on that second game with Charizard Dragapult Terra package, I was really confused at what they were playing, because they mulliganed showing me a Crispin, Psychic Energy, and Owls, so I'm like, it's Terra Box. They then flip over Charmander as their active Pokemon, which makes me think it's Charizard Terra Box, because that could work. And then he plays a Buddy Poffin and finds a Dreepy, and then I'm like, I'm playing Terra Poltzard, and it was crazy. Okay, I forgot to record match 3. I won. It was against a Mega Lopunny. I couldn't get a normal Meganium out, but I was able to get Mega Meganium out and charge it up to knock out a Mega Lopunny. He had to put Badoo in the active, and he didn't really, I knocked out Badoo and he couldn't use Duskull to knock out my Mega Meganium. So yeah, I was also kind of confused what he was playing at first because he started a Ditto. So I was like, oh, maybe it's Bolt, but he chose to go second. So I was really confused. Then I saw Kangaskhan, then I thought it was Kangaskhan Bouffalon. And then he played a Poffin, and I was like, okay, it's Lopunny, and then it was Lopunny. I started with Psyduck in the active too, but he knocked it out with a Klefki and Dusknoir. Now we're sitting here watching senior finals, and then there's a game with Henry Chow in the NES division. I then went over to the prize wall to spend my 190 tickets, except I kept one of the 10s because it was my first regional, okay? I spent 50 on a Team Valor pin, and I got 13 packs. Okay, I was watching Masters matches. It was Alex Shemansky versus, TCG Pocket announcement. I'm heading to the restroom in between matches. Alex Shemansky on Frostless, Munkidori versus Dragapult. I forgot his name, Manuel. I forgot, I'll put it up here. He had to coin flip for a win because he had confusion. It's crazy. I then went to watch Masters Finals with my Zoroark deck right by my side. And I did see Masters Finals live, which means I saw the moment happen, and here was the crowd's live reaction.
2 heads would get the job done here with the rapid fire combo. What do we see? One more flip to take the knockouts. Kangaskhan.
Got 2? Oh my god!
cameras. Let me show you. This is Sylveon, I think, or Mega Otter. And then there's a little Umbreon flag. Alright, Absolutist one. Let's see. Close on Houston Regionals. See you next time. And for my next regional video, we'll see how I fare in a land of magic.